This week, we're exploring one of the most dynamic destinations in North America, Quebec City, Canada. Naturally, Quebec City lends itself to adventure because of its topography. It's incredibly hilly, and there's an enormous river running through it. There's a massive waterfall, there's a beautiful island. It has the raw materials to be an adventure city without even trying. Quebec City is absolutely full of stairs. There are stairs everywhere. And that's why everyone here looks so fit, because everyone's going up and down the stairs all the time. I'm glad we've got electric bikes, so we get to enjoy all of the beautiful views with half the effort. Ile d'Orléans is a dreamy, idyllic island anchored in the mighty St. Lawrence River, 3 miles east of downtown Quebec City.
The island is the second largest island after Montreal on the St. Lawrence River.
I can see why they call it the Garden of Quebec City. Sounds like the kind of place that you would come to enjoy good food, good wine, and amazing views.
And you will find many great products and discoveries.
Like this.
Like this one.
Yeah, cheers.
At 75 square miles, Ile d'Orléans is not particularly small, but it is infused with a quaint sense of bucolic beauty. One 35-mile-long road encircles the entire island, taking in 6 picturesque villages and plenty of orchards, meadows, windmills, workshops and wineries en route.
Okay, thank you very much. Oh wow, that's gorgeous.
To up the adventure stakes, I spent my second morning tackling a via ferrata, which, translated from Italian, is Iron Way. It's a means of scaling a sheer rock face via strategically placed iron rungs. To get to the via ferrata, I had to take a zip line, which was lots of fun, but I was enjoying the view a little too much because I managed to get completely spun around. The only instruction I'd been given was to hit the deck running. Unfortunately, I hit the deck with my bottom.
Oh, that's not good.
Now it's the hard part, so we'll need to climb up the rock over there and we'll have a beautiful view of the waterfall.
The views of the waterfall as we ascended the Via Ferrata were phenomenal. You could feel the spray in your face and the raw power of this colossal force of nature right next to you.
Great, so some joker has basically put a plank here. So you got to walk the plank halfway up the waterfall. It's the first moment where I've actually been genuinely a little bit scared. At least there's no sharks down there if I fall.
It's pretty great that we have some yellow helmets because it's easier to see you down there in the water if we need to find you. You're climbing like 83 meters of rock, so I would not suggest it for someone who is afraid of height. Where you are right now is the perfect place if you want just to like let yourself go in the air. If you want to try it or...
No, I don't want to try it. There were a couple of moments there where I was feeling a little bit scared. That was just challenging enough. Like it felt like being pushed through your personal boundaries, and it's just all worth it once you get to the top. Yay, we made it! Right, what's for lunch? Tonight I have come to one of the most popular spots in Quebec City, Le Chic Shack. In here, they serve Quebec's ultimate comfort food, poutine.
The Quebecois national dish, poutine, is basically French fries and gooey cheese curds swimming in delicious gravy. At Le Chic Shack, they do things a little differently to most, by putting the gravy in first, then layering in chunky fries and finally, the all-important curds. As you get further down, it all soaks together perfectly, and you get this heavenly goo that is not only a cure for pretty much any problem, but also the perfect fuel before heading for a night out in the city they call the Paris of North America.
It's funny that I should bump into this fella here because this whole city is like one big fairy tale. It's just so beautiful, the little streets and alleyways. It's a city that's full of adventure, but it's also full of magic.
When you're hitting a city at 100 miles an hour, dashing around, experiencing all the adventures it has to offer, you need to factor in a little downtime to recharge your batteries. And Quebec City has a superb place to do exactly that. Right on the riverfront, the Strom Nordic Spa. It's an ideal spot to retreat, relax, reflect, and ready yourself to go again. It was a perfect way to start my third day in the city, which would be the busiest yet. It began with a flaming First Nations breakfast that nearly took my eyebrows off, but I had an appointment in one of Canada's most staggeringly beautiful areas of natural wilderness, right on the city's northern doorstep. This morning,
Let's go.
I'm going for a paddle on the Jacques Cartier River. Just look at this.
The scenery is spectacular with all of this wildlife all around you. I was kind of paddling, looking around me for bears and moose and all kinds of stuff.
What amazes me is that a lot of people come here, but still there's enough room for everybody, you know?
And all the mooses.
And all the mooses.
Oh, what's plural of moose anyway?
Mooses?
Mooses?
I'd say so.
Do you see 3 moose or 3 mooses?
I'm not sure. Don't ask the French guy.
In Jacques Cartier National Park, it really feels as if you're cut off from the rest of the world in the best way possible. For a lot of the journey, there was no sound at all except the paddles dipping in and out of the water. It was incredibly serene, until we got to the rapids. This might look a little bit mundane, but let me tell you that is terrifying. That is an avalanche of water, and that was coming for me. And I looked it in the eye and I said, not today. Not today, Jacques Cartier River. That was a battle to get down that river, but it was a fun battle. See what else Quebec City has in store for us. Out of the watery frying pan and into the fire. Or more specifically, the blazing hot body armour of a Lacrosse goalkeeper.
Good luck.
It was a really hot afternoon, so the whole experience was like standing in an oven while people throw large rocks at you.
I guess this is what it feels like being in front of a firing squad.
Sport is a great leveller, and it's also a nice way to be introduced to the culture of a new community via a game that used to be played by hundreds of men at once with no protective gear at all, for fun, for festivals, and occasionally to settle serious disputes. Luckily, we didn't get into a serious dispute today because I managed to save a shot at the end.
After Lacrosse, I had the honour of meeting the troupe Sandoqua, who are named after the sacred eagle. And they put on this incredible series of dances celebrating their culture and heritage, and it was really humbling to sit there and watch them perform such a beautiful ritual.
The highlight for me was the friendship dance because it was a real honour to be invited into that circle as a friend and to join them up there as they celebrated this time-honoured ritual. Obviously, I'm not an expert in First Nations dance moves. In fact, I'm not an expert in any dance moves at all. But I let go of my inhibitions and just tried to go with the flow, to feel something of that heightened moment of friendship and acceptance. The ultimate end to the entire experience was when we looked up and there were 3 or 4 enormous eagles just hovering directly above us, as if they'd been summoned by the song. Moments like that are about as close to magic as you're going to get. I was also invited to spend the night in a traditional longhouse, which anyone can experience for themselves as part of a package at l'Hôtel Musée Première Nation, a hotel dedicated to the Aboriginal culture of all First Nations of Canada. Here, in a room that would have housed 8 to 10 families, you get to sleep under piles of furs on wooden bunks and hear time-honoured myths and legends around a roaring fire before bed.
Every single fire in the longhouse is its beating heart. It ensures our survival.
These last few days have been absolutely crammed with experiences, from climbing up a waterfall to paddling down rapids, and from joining a centuries-old ritual dance to exploring the contemporary nightlife of a dynamic 21st century city. Of course, this is Canada, with its interplay of pristine wilderness and compelling cosmopolitanism. But at the same time, Quebec City is so much more. This striking, history-soaked city is a truly unique destination, full of unparalleled culture and charm.